George. Well, the last place I was living was Los Angeles. I met a French woman, and so then I moved here. I walk to my atelier from Rue de Saint-Père every day. I cross the river, Pont des Arts, and I go through the Cour Carrée, and la 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 la. So I avoided coming to Paris because I had such a fantasy in my mind about Paris from reading and movies, and that I was sure that I would be very disappointed. So I decided I would not come to Paris. But in fact, I fell in love right away. And the magic is still here. I'm a woodworker, I'm a carpenter. So I want everything I do is part of building, built into the structure. I was always doing that as a job until I could figure out what I was going to do with my life. And eventually I figured out that that's exactly what I wanted to do. I started out in art school a long time ago, and I eventually gave up because I also did architecture for a bit. But I gave up all that because all I really wanted to do was work on buildings and essentially decoration. And art school in the 60s was not a place for that. It's the last thing anyone was interested in. And in architecture school, they told me, you know, George, the only real sculpture is architecture. I told that several times. So I became a carpenter. I became a cabinet maker, and I just went to work. You know, I just started working. I didn't study. Well, I work in a very small way. In Los Angeles, I had a atelier de menuiserie. I did what we call architectural woodwork. Had big machines. I did bookcases, bibliotheques, boiserie, paneling, doors, big doors, and things like that. The work I do in LA is totally different than anything I do here, because here, if I'm doing something in Paris, I'm super conscious that it's Paris, and I don't want to do something that is contrary to. I don't want to do something you walk in and say, "Wow, you must have had an architect. It's all redone like a loft in New York." You know, that's the last thing I want to do. I don't think there's a contradiction between being a craftsman, like a carpenter, and being a sculptor. I don't see any contradiction. I'm not skillful at all those other things, but I could be, and I would like to be. I would like to have all of that be part of my oeuvre, you know, be part of what I do. People have to really want what I'm doing because it just takes a lot of time. I don't do things just for the hell of it. I mean, I'm always aware of the time. I'm always conscious of that. I mean, I'm not an artist, actually. I'm a craftsman, but yes, I also feel passionately about it. I put my heart into it. And I've had some things which I've really liked the way it turned out. I like the bibliothèque I did at my place. There's a few things like that. Because I really am a craftsman. I'm really not doing art. You know, I'm very proud to be a craftsman. I used to for many years I thought, well, one day I'm going to give up all this being a carpenter and be an artist again, you know. I don't think that way anymore. I love being a craftsman. I love having a time pressure. Why not? I love doing things that's going to mean something to other people, and blah, blah, blah. So if people want something very fast, I'm not the guy. But I have nothing against people who work very fast, but I don't, you know. They have to be willing for things to take time. And it always takes a tremendous amount more time than going to IKEA. The real purpose of art is to be a companion to part of building. I think that what we see and love and admire at Notre Dame or wherever is not that it was done by someone famous that we recognize. It's quite the opposite. We don't think about who did it. It's just a wonderful thing. And you go to Italy and the walls are painted everywhere. And for me, that is the real purpose of art.